In this video, I will teach you everything you need to know to draw trend lines like a pro. So what are trend lines? A trend line we draw on the chart to help us visualize the direction of a trending market. Here's an example. I'm going to connect all the swing highs and swing lows on this chart to create a trend line. These are the swing lows and these are the swing highs, and both trend lines together create a trend channel. Now let's look at another example, a downtrend. We identify a downtrend by observing consecutive lower highs and lower lows. Then the next step is to grab our channel 2 and to connect all these swing points to create our channel. And I want to mention something here that, as you can see, we do not always touch both trend lines perfectly, and sometimes we actually can go out and do a fake out of the channel, but this I will cover later in the video, and I'm going to explain exactly what can you expect when you're trading inside of a channel. You're probably asking yourself, what do we need to draw a trend line? And you can draw a trend line by simply using two swings, which means two higher highs or two lower lows on the chart. And here's an example. This is my first swing high right here, and this is my second swing high right here. And I'm just going to grab my line 2 and I'm going to connect them to project where price might reverse in the near future. Now let's look at this example. I'm just going to extend the trend line. And now let's see an example of an uptrend. First we identify our lowest swing point and then we identify our higher low. Then we just connect them with our trend line and let's see what happens when we play the replay. As you can see, we didn't quite get to the exact trend line, and it always really depends how you draw them, but that was pretty close. And depending on your strategy, you could have probably got an entry right here. And this brings me to the next question, which is very common question, and that is, do you draw the trend line using the wicks or the candle body or both? And the correct answer usually is that you use everything, because as I showed you, in every situation this is not an exact science and you're not going to get the perfect touch every single time. The main purpose of these trend lines and these channels is to identify the direction and where you can potentially enter the markets. Now let's look at another example of imperfect trend lines, where we cannot connect all the swing highs and lows, and in that case we're just going to connect the most points that we can. First we identify that we're looking at a downtrend, and after I will draw my trend lines to try to catch as many points as I can. And as you can see, these points are touching and these are missing the trend lines, but that is okay, because as I said before, you don't need them to be perfectly touching every single time. We only use our trend lines and channels for guidance and not simply to enter a trade when we see price touching the trend line. Now let's jump right into an example on how you can use what you have learned so far to actually take a trade just by using the trend lines and channels, looking at two different time frames first. Again, we're going to start by identifying what kind of trend do we have, and looking at the chart I can see that I am having an uptrend, and I'm going to connect my lower swing points to create a trend. Now that I have done that, I'm going to show you guys the same chart on a lower time frame. And this is it side by side. As you can see, my mouse actually shows the exact same point at the exact same time that I'm showing you right now. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my channel tool, and again I'm going to connect my higher points and my lower points to establish this channel, which I'm going to use to get an entry when we get a retest of the channel right at this point right here. So what I did here is I used the smaller time frame, the 5-minute time frame, to get an entry point when we come out of this lower time frame channel and we get a retest of the channel once we actually broke out of it. So now let's check out what happened after. There we go. Price just continues to go higher, and I'm gonna show you the same thing on the 30-minute chart. Alright guys, there are two ways that you can trade using channels. The first way is trend continuation, and the second is channel breakouts. Next, I will give you an example of a channel breakout and how you can use it to take an entry. Here we are looking at a 5-minute chart, and right now we are in a downtrend. Once I draw my channel, we can see that we just broke out of the channel, and this candle is a confirmation, and we can take a long position. So let's check out what happens next. And boom, we rallied after a retest of our channel. If you guys want to learn more about technical analysis and swing trading, please hit the subscribe button with the notification bell, and also comment below if you have any questions, and I'll be happy to answer them as soon as possible. For now, thank you for watching guys. I'll see you in the next video.